Troy Carter of Louisiana. He represents parts of New Orleans, and former acting vice chief of the National Guard Bureau, retired Major General Randy Manner.
Congressman, I am curious about your thoughts about what you are seeing from America's mayors, and if you feel that America's mayors are rising to meet this moment and this challenge.
Yeah, I think they are, and I think they're rising to say we're not rejecting. They're not rejecting help from the White House. They're not rejecting help to push back against crime. It's the type of help to militarize cities with M16s and military officials walking the streets of major cities like New Orleans. That's not the answer. There is an answer, however. If the president really wants to help, send more resources to put boots on the ground. Send more resources to have more and better trained officers. Send more resources to have a DA's office that are equipped with the state-of-the-art crime labs so they can make good convictions and convict the right person and not people that are wrongfully convicted. Work with our mental health agencies to assist with those people that are suffering from mental illnesses. Take a page from Bill Clinton's 1995 plan, where he sent millions of dollars to institute the COPS program, community policing, working with communities, officers on the street. There's lots of ways to help. We want to be clear, certainly from the New Orleans standpoint, we're not saying we don't want help. We just want to make sure that the help is real and it's not gamesmanship and political fodder to send M16 carrying troops through the city of New Orleans and creating a military zone.
I don't believe this is what the National Guard is supposed to be doing. I'm like, Major General, please. Is this what the National Guard is trained to do? Am I wrong on this?
You are absolutely correct that the National Guard is not trained to do this kind of work. The congressman is spot on about if the president is truly trying to help the mayors of various cities to reduce crime, there are many ways to do it which are more cost-effective and appropriate. The role of the National Guard is, number one, strategic reserve of our nation to be overseas as a deterrent, and number two, to help save our citizens in times of natural disaster, such as hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, forest fires, and so on. None of these things are happening. It's also interesting that whether it's Louisiana for New Orleans or for Memphis, and I've talked to the mayor of Memphis, the mayor did not ask for these resources. And in fact, the governor, until perhaps the president and the secretary reached down to the governor to say, would you do this for us? And we'll pay for it. You have to remember, the governor did not deploy any soldiers on his own, like under state active duty. He instead waited for the federal funds to become available at the request likely of the administration. Again, this is absolutely wrong in every sense of the word to militarize our cities. Our military was never designed and should never be designed under democracy to, quite frankly, watch over our people.
Michael, not only did the mayor of Memphis not ask for those resources, the mayor of Memphis found out from the president of the United States that this was all happening because the president was on television.
Yeah, I mean, look, this whole process is, to put it politely, haphazard. It is not thought out because there is no rationale for the act. To the Major General's point, there's no need for this. To your point, this is not how we use our National Guard.
Third Amendment.
And the reality, Congressman, is caught in the middle of this are municipalities, the mayors, city councils, the county executives, the governors of states that are sitting there hoping that this dark cloud passes over them. And the question becomes, how should people be responding? How do they prepare for, the placement of the National Guard in their cities for up to a year, as we noted coming into this conversation? I look at, the impact this is having on everyday folks. What are you hearing and seeing from your constituents? What are other elected officials at the state level doing? How are they preparing for this? And what is the expectation of when and how all this ends?
Well, we know this was a leaked document, that apparently there are no actual plans as far as we know. There's been no communication with us, with me as a member of Congress, with members of the legislative or executive branch in New Orleans, the mayor of the city council. People are concerned, not because they don't want help. They're concerned because much of what the Major General said is absolutely correct. The reality is our guardsmen are not trained to be police officers. They're wonderful individuals that do an incredible job in the preparations for a storm, in the aftermath of a storm. They've been fantastic for Super Bowl with crowd control and making sure that we are keeping the flow and having a presence. But they're not familiar with municipal laws. They're not trained in de-escalation. They're not trained in the ways of a police officer. So we dare to create more harm than good if you put our officers, our guardsmen, in harm's way. Remember, these are reserve officers who have full-time jobs, and they serve our country once a month, to come out and to do this once a month, to provide resources to make sure our country is strong in the event of a war. I think at best this is a misuse of these incredible brave men and women who put on the uniform, who we have the highest level of respect and regard for. It's unfortunate that they're being used in a way that's more of a political pawn or gamesmanship than to offer true offers of help. We'll take true offers of help. What we don't want is a militarization of our communities to make political points.